Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. In tonight's program of Evening with a Guest, we have a very special guest with us today, who is an institution and a whole school within himself, in his own right. He is a Sufi master and a prominent scholar of mainstream traditional Islam, who has and still is continuing to spread the teachings of peace, tolerance, respect and love throughout the world. And it's a great honor and a privilege to have with us tonight the great Shaykh Muhammad Hisham Kabbani. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah for coming today and giving us some time out of your precious hectic schedule.
It's my honor and my privilege to be here, and that you hosting me here today, which I don't deserve it, but you insisted. May Allah forgive me and forgive you, inshallah, and bless us all.
First of all, what we'd like to talk about, and I'm sure the viewers are very thirsty to know about your life and about how you've lived in the early stages of your life, and then the middle stages, and now where you're living, and about your life. So can you tell us a little bit about the background of of your childhood, where you were born, and your schooling, please?
I was born in Lebanon,
MashaAllah.
Beirut, the capital, and from a very religious family, very well known in Lebanon, and they run the Muslim affairs in Lebanon.
Subhanallah.
One of my uncles was the head of the Muslim scholars of Middle East.
Okay.
And the other one was running the affair of the Muslims in Lebanon as the General Secretary for Awqaf.
Subhanallah.
And where I used to attend in my childhood their sessions, and since my father, Allah generosity with us, was rich, he has a mansion in Beirut, very huge home.
MashaAllah.
And all these scholars from Middle East used to come and be hosted in our home, my father's home. And my uncles used to come, because they are friends of my uncles. They used to come and make this religious association, which my uncles used to teach Islam on different 4 schools of thought. One day they teach the Hanafi school of thought, the other day is Maliki, the other day Shafi, and the other day the Hanbali school of thought. 2 scholars, not 2 youngsters. So I was raised within such an environment.
An Islamic environment.
A very Islamic environment, but in study, in schools, we were in, first as a French speaker, I was in a French school, which is a secular complete school. It's completely secular.
Okay.
And no religion. And later, in the higher education, high school and so on, I turned into English, and I was in an evangelical school.
Okay.
Studying also normal teaching, sciences, and on top of that, we were studying the Bible.
Okay.
So I trained with the secular, I trained with the religious Christian schools, and at home we were trained as a very religious Muslim, keeping the 5 prayers and all other obligations.
SubhanAllah. So that was a very varied life in the early stages.
In the early stages, the early stages.
SubhanAllah. And then you went on to higher education?
Then I went to higher education. I went to American University of Beirut in English, studying chemistry.
Right.
Then, since my sisters and my brothers were all doctors, most of them, the others are lawyers and accountants, and so I went to study medicine overseas.
Okay.
And I didn't continue till the end because I had some issues that to go back quickly to home because my father was sick.
Right, okay.
And then I went into business at that time.
Right.
Although back in Lebanon, although I finished chemistry and I was studying medicine for 4 years.
Okay.
The last year, which is going to be training, I stopped, went back home. And from that time, I began my travel out of Lebanon, accompanying our Grand Master, who is our masters today is Mawlana Shaykh Nazim, may Allah give him long life.
Ameen.
But
Ameen.
the Grand Master that I had the honor to meet with him and stay with him for many, many years. Since I was 12 years of age, I've been introduced to him. Until he died, I was around 27 years of age. So like 15 years I spent with the Grand Master.
That must have been a great honor.
It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored us with that barakah and that.
Subhanallah. So when you went back, you were doing business in Lebanon, and then how long did you spend in Lebanon?
In family business, we had a family business, construction, development, and textile business. It was all wholesale. So I was involved with other brothers in that, but I didn't leave my profession, which we went to Jeddah and we established a first high-tech hospital in Jeddah, and most of the doctors were from United States. All the equipment were from United States, and it was from that time, 1977. We used to have major operations in the emergency room or in it was connected directly to satellite with American doctors if we had a problem.
So it's a very prestigious and a
very, very, very prestigious. We had all the Saudi princes and princesses coming to the hospital to be treated there in Jeddah. So I have also long history and knowledge about the Saudi family and how they live their lives and so on.
We will touch on that a little bit later on, Shaykh. MashaAllah, I want to talk about that you are heading many organizations throughout the world, and just to give us a little bit of a brief background about some of the organizations that you chair. For example, you're the chairman of the Islamic Supreme Council of America. How long have you been doing that?
Islamic Supreme Council around 14 years now.
And when did you
or 15 years. I moved to America in 1990. 1990. And as soon as I landed in America in 1990, where a Muslim has to go to a mosque.
Yes.
So I went to the mosque for a Friday, Jum'ah, and it was month of Rabi'ul Awwal.
Subhanallah.
So what you expect? Miladun Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Which I was shocked. To see that Miladun Nabi is a curse for them. They don't accept it. So, and I heard the speaker, who is an Egyptian, speaking in Arabic. Many Pakistanis there, but don't understand, and many Asian or non-Arabs. But I was with very few people understanding what he's saying. He's giving every bad idea about celebrating Prophet's birthday. I was shocked. I came back. I said, okay, we'll try another mosque. Similarly. That was in New Jersey, in America. Another mosque. And then Pakistani's mosque.
It was the same thing?
Same thing.
So you encountered Wahhabism in its true
1990.
In 1990.
1990.
So how did you go about bringing about this major change throughout North America and Canada, that we see a lot of Muslims now celebrating the Milad? They're now bringing themselves towards the true teachings of yourself and of your Grand Master.
I think I don't want to give the what you say in English, because of me what happened, but it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored me to begin to write pamphlets,
Subhanallah,
in hundreds of thousands pamphlets about the permissibility of Miladun Nabi, permissibility of intercession with Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and most of the problems that they put in the mind of Muslim, that this bid'ah or shirk or kufr or haram. We touched on all this.
Yeah.
And 91, I moved to California, and I was surprised to see also in California no acceptance in masajid. Any masjid cannot do Miladun Nabi. It's impossible.
Uh-huh.
So they used to do it at home, or they rent halls. Very few people.
Okay.
So I began to take the lead with this issue, and what happened is 1994, after a long struggle with the with those people who refused Miladun Nabi, I went to ISNA conference,
Right.
Islamic Society of North America, 1993.
This is in California.
This is in California. The conference was in Chicago, so I flew to Chicago. And we prepared books, pamphlets, thousands of them. One Pakistani, may Allah give him happiness, he published them all free.
Subhanallah.
I rented a booth in that conference, and I began to give them free.
Subhanallah.
They brought police on me.
Allahu Akbar.
They want to close that booth. I said refuse, because we paid money, we have a contract. They brought the security by force to close it, because they don't want these books. Finally, Abdullah Idris, who is the chairman of ISNA, called me to his office, and he said, please stop that. I said, I will not stop it. If you tell me this is haram, I will stop it. If it is halal, I will not stop it.
Subhanallah.
You know what he told me? I'm saying it on open now. He told me, I'm a Sufi
Subhanallah.
from Sudan. Because they have the Tayyibiyya tariqah, Tijaniya tariqah, they have many tariqahs. But we have to go with the stream. Here they don't believe in it. We have to stop that. I said, no, I will not. I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not stopping it. And you cannot close me.
Subhanallah. So you were basically going back and telling them the roots and the true teachings of Islam by celebrating the Milad and about having these mehfils for Miladun Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you were teaching them the true Sufi order through these pamphlets and booklets by distributing them free.
That's true.
So you were teaching them about the Sufi order. Just tell us a little bit about your Sufi order and about the tariqah that you followed. A little bit of background about that.
It is followed everywhere around the world, the Naqshbandi tariqats.
Yeah.
But my Shaykh has, now Mawlana Shaykh Nazim, carry 6 tariqats. Carry the Qadiriyya, the Chistiyya, carry the Mawlawiyya, carry the Naqshbandiyya, carry the Kabrawiyya. So he has 6 of them that, being different sheikhs, gave him secrets or gave him authorization on these 6 tariqats. So when we say tariqah, it doesn't mean anything different. Like when you say you go to Azhar, you study religion.
Yeah.
You say I am Azhari.
Yes.
Or you go to Harvard, you say I am from Harvard. Or you go to Medina, you go to Medina University.
Yes.
So it is called after the name of the city or the name of the one that has disseminate that the teachings.
Subhanallah. What do you do different to the other tariqahs?
Not too much difference. In the usul, deen is no difference. In the trunk, no difference. In the branches, might be this branch on a tree being grafted with apple, this one with pears, with one grafted with plums. So every branch has own fruit, has own taste. Go take from everyone. You'll be happy. You feel this happiness within you. And it is nothing except some awrad, some zikr that they give you to repeat Allah's beautiful names and attributes, and salawat on Prophet sallallahu. That's it. That's what is the major of it.
MashaAllah. I want to touch a little bit about Muslims around the world. You've traveled extensively throughout the Muslim world and through the West. Which part of the Muslim world do you feel that Muslims are following the true teachings of Islam? On your travels, you must have seen and extensively seen the world. Which part did appeal to you the most, that these part of the world the Muslims are following the true teachings of Islam?
It's very difficult to say that this part of the world, this country is practicing the real teaching of Islam, and this country does not, because you have in the same country you have different teaching of Islam, different understanding of Islam.
Yes.
So, and these different understanding, as Prophet ﷺ said, سَتَفْتَرِقُ أُمَّتِي عَلَى بِضْعٍ وَسَبْعُونَ شُعْبَةً. They are going to separate on many different sects.
Yes.
And one of them is
on the truth.
So it is impossible for the minority to be on the truth. It has to be for the majority. Because Ibn Mas'ud said, مَا رَآهُ الْمُسْلِمُونَ حَسَنْ فَهُوَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ حَسَنْ. Whatever the Muslim sees good, to Allah is good, means the majority of Muslim, as Prophet ﷺ said, عَلَيْكُمْ بِالسَّوَادِ الْأَعْظَمِ.
Who is the majority, Shaykh? Who is the majority in this time?
Those who are sitting here now.
Subhanallah.
So Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So what they are trying to recruit from Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah in their ideologies, different ideologies, but still that light, still within the heart of every Muslim. You cannot put it down. Even that light of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, this, the traditional light of Sayyidina Muhammad, that he brought it to put the light in the Sahaba. That's why no one can put, Sahaba went everywhere. And they were able to, doesn't speak the language. They went to China. They don't speak the language, but attracted people to Islam through the lights in their heart. Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah has the light of the love of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's what keeping them standing, and never they will be down.
Inshallah.
We hope the others will come back to their understanding of Islam. Now you asked first the question, which country? I can tell you that there are many countries that still the majority is the real teaching, but they don't have a mic. The mic and the books are in the hand of the minorities. The best country I saw is Morocco and Indonesia.
Subhanallah. You mentioned Indonesia, Shaykh. As you've mentioned it, it just brought me back to a clip that was sent to me about your trip to Indonesia a couple of years ago. Tell me a little bit about your trip when you went there, and there was apparently 250,000 Muslims in one gathering, and there was then you had an experience of talking to the Indonesian Muslims, and then you had some people come to you and wanted a private gathering with you. Tell us a little bit about that.
This too long.
It's too long? Just briefly tell us a little bit about your experience in Indonesia.
My experience is that I am going to Indonesia every year like 3 times or 2 times. And I stay there like for a long period of time. And since 1997, I'm going there. It's like 12 years now, something like that.
Okay.
I knew many of important people and many of the lower level in their life, not people, but in their life, the poor one and the wealthy one. All of them, they have still strong belief on the belief of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah and traditional love. Especially, you will encounter if you go to Indonesia, in every street, you will see there is every street in Jakarta or Sumatra or Surabaya, wherever you go, you will see people sitting, drumming the daf, and making salawat on Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When I say in the street, means in thousands. At least 10,000, 5,000 in every district. Not necessarily in the Mawlid time. It's all the year round. So one of the trips, I was introduced to the Minister of Religious Affairs at that time, and he invited me to give a Jum'ah in the biggest mosque of Jakarta, Istiqlal Mosque. That capacity is inside the building is around 200, outside the building is 50,000. It's the biggest masjid after Mecca and Medina.
Subhanallah.
Al-Haram al-Makki and Haram al-Nabawi. So I gave the Jum'ah khutbah there. And then when I came back down, you can see this wave of human beings.
The sea of people.
Rushing, this their belief, very strong belief. Rushing, and we didn't know because it was the first time.
Yeah.
Quickly people try to secure me from the poor people who are rushing. They are rushing for barakah.
Subhanallah.
Not rushing for something else. They want to touch you.
Subhanallah.
Look, their belief in Prophet and their belief in ulama, their belief in awliya, their belief in Ahlul Bayt.
Subhanallah.
They know me that from Ahlul Bayt say they want to rush to barakah. Anything but come to see you.
Subhanallah.
And now I'm stuck. And the minister is stuck, the security is hundreds of thousands moving in one direction.
Subhanallah.
We ran on the member back and we said, okay. They said we want bay'ah, initiation on the Naqshbandi order.
Subhanallah.
So I said, okay, I will come down, but put your hand on shoulders of each other. And I read Ayatul Bay'ah to them. At that time, they said they moved back. So 250,000 in one session took bay'ah on the Naqshbandi order to our Shaykh Muhammad Nazim al-Haqqani.
Subhanallah, that's beautiful.
Other than that, I met with the president of Indonesia. He was not president at that time. He came to me asking some advice. And I gave him the advice. And he went along with it. And he became president.
Subhanallah. That is barakah.
The barakah of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Subhanallah, subhanallah.
He became president. His term 5 years, he finished. Every time I go there, he invites me. This time for presidency, before 3 months ago, I was there.
Subhanallah.
And we had an event similarly in the Istiqlal Mosque, another 250,000.
Okay.
And the president suddenly, before the event, we didn't tell anyone except posters are everywhere. He said he wants to attend. I was surprised that the president will come. So he came to the meeting, and I gave my speech. Then he came up and gave his speech. And I was surprised. I was stunned. Everyone there was stunned. Because I never revealed these things, but he revealed it, so I can mention it now.
Right, okay.
And he said that, and it was on major public TV, 7 stations, 8 stations there in Indonesia. He said, I want to tell you the truth. Shaykh Hisham Kabbani is my teacher.
Allahu Akbar.
And for 5 years he is advising me, and I am doing what he is saying. That's why I was successful, because of his teachings to me.
Subhanallah.
The only president that humbled himself, Allah gave him presidency another time.
Subhanallah, that's beautiful, Shaykh. We're going to be going on a short break in just about a minute's time. But when we come back, I want to touch on some other topics related to your life and about the teachings that you do around the world, about the love and the peace and the harmony that you teach the wonderful Muslims of the world. So when we come back, inshallah, we will be touching on that. Viewers, today, Jazakumullah khair, Ahsantu Barakallah fi to Shaykh, who has given us some time out of his precious schedule and hectic life. And we're honored to have him. But inshallah, we shall be going for a break. And when we return, we will be back with the Shaykh. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Two minutes. So.
Don't tell them 2 minutes, they will begin to speak, they will not finish.